Laying the floor is the exact moment a cold, rattling metal box actually starts to feel like home. Before this, you're just standing in a delivery vehicle. But it is also the stage where most DIYers completely ruin their build right out of the gate. They use the wrong adhesive and the floor bubbles the second the summer sun hits the roof. If you miss a single high spot on your subfloor, and you'll be staring at a permanent bump in your vinyl for the next 10 years. Every single time you walk barefoot across your van, you're going to feel it, and it will drive you insane. Today, we are laying down the heavy-duty commercial vinyl in Perry's Peugeot Boxer. Now, I'm going to show you the exact professional techniques to get it dead flat, bomb-proof finish that will survive years of road vibration, spilled coffee, and muddy paws. We ain't going to cut no corners here, so let's get the glue down. So before a single drop of glue touches this van, the prep work has to be absolutely flawless. Now, we've already locked in our 18mm cable deck tongue and groove chipboard as our rock solid base. Now, because this is a floating floor, there isn't a single screw pinning it down to the metal. You don't want to be blindly firing screws into the floor of your van and piercing the rust proofing. This is going to be a recipe for disaster. Now, because it's floating, our alignment here has to be spot on from the front to the back. Now, I spent hours ensuring every single joint has been perfectly fitted flush. You can't just run your hand over it and check every seam with a straight edge. If you can see daylight under that ruler, you aren't ready for the vinyl. Now, for the adhesive, you can't just use rigid permanent floor glue here, and you definitely can't just use standard spray foam adhesive from your hardware store. A van is basically a house experiencing a constant simulated earthquake every time you hit the motorway. So we're going to be using high flexibility floor adhesive designed specifically to move and expand and flex with the substrate as the temperature inside the van changes. Now, you want to work in manageable sections, maybe probably a square meter at a time. The trick is spreading it completely even with a notch trowel. Now, if you press too hard, you scrape the glue away, but if you don't press hard enough, you get pooling, and the pooling will cure into a hard lump under your brand new floor. Honestly, spreading this glue on your hands and knees is serious workout. My back is screaming by the end of the day. Even though I keep my fitness up by playing Sunday League football, crawling around a metal subfloor at 41 years old takes a serious toll on your joints. It takes stamina. It's like settling in for an absolute marathon session on the PlayStation, grinding out matches on Arc Raiders until my eyes bleed. You just have to lock in and get it done. Speaking of staying safe on the road while you're grinding out those miles, now before we get back to the Peugeot build, I want to share a vital upgrade I've just fitted in my own van, the Vauxhall Vivaro. Now, this video is sponsored by VIOFO. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I've just installed their flagship A329S 4K dash cam. Now, when you've been living in your van full time for years, your entire life and your tools and all the gear are just sitting inside the vehicle with you. So security isn't an option, it's mandatory. Now, what sets this VIOFO dash cam apart, I hope I'm saying that right, is that it shoots in true 4K 60 frames per second using a high tier Sony Starvis 2 image sensor. That means you get crystal clear, completely liable footage of the license plates and faces, even in pitch black night conditions. Plus, it has ultra fast Wi-Fi built in. So if an accident happens, you can pull the files straight to your phone in seconds without messing around with SD cards. It is absolutely crucial for protecting your van, providing evidence for your insurance premiums and giving you peace of mind when you're out living van life. Now, I've been running it in my Vivaro for a couple of days now, and the performance, I've got to say, is incredible. Now, they have provided me with a direct link and a special discount code for you guys, which you can find right at the top of the description below. So a massive thanks to VIOFO for backing this channel and keeping us secure. Now, let's get back to the wrestling this massive roll of vinyl into Perry's Boxer. We are using true commercial grade vinyl here, and it is significantly thicker than the standard options. It features a heavy duty wear layer and are vastly superior to them cheap residential stuff you find on the discount rack at your standard hardware stores. Now, if you drop a heavy pan on standard vinyl, it can tear, but if you drop it on this, it will just bounce straight off it. Now the trade-off for that durability, it is heavy, it is stiff, and it is incredibly awkward, and it is an absolute beast to manoeuvre in tight spaces like a bloody van interior. So once the glue hits the deck, you are officially on the clock. You have to push every single millimetre of trapped air from the centre all the way to the edges. If you leave an air pocket, the glue will cure around it and it will never lay flat. Now, a lot of people use them heavy metal floor rollers for this, but in a van with wheel arches and weird contours, I can't always get a roller into the corners. So a stiff bristled brush works just as well. So you put all your weight onto the brush and you push all the air out aggressively without scratching or dulling that thick wear layer. And of course, right in the middle of a time sensitive chemical cure where every second counts, the site manager decides to show up for an unannounced inspection. Now, I know Rowan's a good girl, but having a black English working Cocker Spaniel wandering around with potentially muddy paws while you have exposed adhesive is terrifying. Her timing is absolutely terrible sometimes. So getting this floor right is crucial, but it's just one step in a massive staircase. The journey from an empty, rusty metal box to a finished, beautiful, reliable home on wheels is terrifying. And honestly, it stops about 90% of DIY builders from ever actually finishing their projects. They get overwhelmed. They make critical mistakes early on, and the van just sits half finished on their driveway for about 2 years. So if you have structural anxiety about where it is exactly safe to cut into the van ribs, a deep fear of condensation rot destroying your timber framework from the inside out, or just a sheer panic of turning your van into a massive money pit by installing things in the wrong order, I have the exact antidote you guys need. Now, I have taken about 26 years of carpentry and joinery expertise and being a general builder, everything I've learned working in the trade since I was a teenager, I've condensed it into the Peugeot Boxer Conversion Blueprint. This is not just a collection of random forum tips or guesswork. It is battle tested, step-by-step masterclass designed to take the guesswork completely out of your build. So every single measurement, material recommendation, sequence of events and trade techniques is backed by decades of on-site experience to ensure you build a safe, durable, professional grade camper. It's quite literally the ultimate insurance policy for your build, saving you from expensive tear outs and wasted materials. Right now, I am running a massive 50% off the launch sale on this downloadable PDF document. Now, I'm going to put the direct link down in the description below. So you click the link, head over to the landing page, and you can grab yourself a copy right now. You can download it instantly and you can get your build back on track before the price goes back up to retail price. So back to Perry's van to finish this off. With the main floor swept totally flat and the air pushed out, I'd like to take a smooth, rounded block of wood to run it along all the perimeter edges and specifically around the complex curves of the rear wheel arches. You cannot just rely on your hands for this. You need to force the stiff vinyl deeply into those 90-degree angles so that it really bites onto the adhesive before it starts to set. Remember that shower tray edge trade secret from the blueprint? We are not pushing the vinyl completely tight against the metal wall. We are deliberately leaving a 10mm gap around the entire perimeter. So later in the build, we're going to fill that void with some flexible silicone, creating a totally waterproof perimeter. So if you spill a massive jug of water, it pools safely on top of the vinyl instead of seeping down the edges and slowly rotting out your wooden subfloor over the winter. Now just look at this final finish. It is dead flat and it's bulletproof. That is another massive crucial phase completed on Perry's Boxer. Next week, the fun begins. We are diving into the complex structural framework and getting those walls prepped and structurally sound. But don't forget to protect your van with a VIOFO dashcam link, and code is below. At checkout, if you input the code the Van Life Gamer, you get 10% off, and the direct link to the landing page to secure your digital copy of the conversion blueprint for this build while it's still at 50% off the launch sale is still live. So hit that subscribe button. You don't miss next week's fundamental framework episode. So drop a comment with any of the flooring questions that you have, and I will see you guys on the next one.